Hi, guys. Welcome to Parawomenradio. I'm Amy. The seedy underbelly of content creation rears its ugly head in the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case, just like it did in the Watts family case. Once every detail has been dissected and no new information is coming in, content creators will often start turning on each other. Tempers flare, egos clash, and it becomes an all out war. I even reported about this a while ago how creators were losing their pages over their Watts case coverage. Losing your YouTube page means losing the ability to earn revenue from Google AdSense on anything. Tonight, we will delve into these updates as well as other latest updates in the case, including the despicable acts of the actual schmurderer herself. So buckle up, folks, because we're diving into it on this episode of Parawomenradio. I'm going to roll some credits while we wait for the rest of the Gyp crew to roll in. Shout out to my replay crew and my dragonflies. Have you missed the GRE on the PWR?
Devil is drumming his old guitar again. Words rolling out into our fire. If heaven had wings, I would steal them and fly away with you for a while. Hearing the essence of gratitude, your dreamy little smile on my lips. I miss my cue, but baby, I had you. Miss my cue, but I had you for that day. Here in the blue, I'm falling deep into you.
Here in the essence of gratitude, I'm just so happy to be back here with my Gypsy Rose crew. I've missed you guys. Haven't really missed the case too much, but I've missed you guys. So I am having some phone issues, meaning that I lost my phone. I've lost my phone. So I wasn't able to text out to anybody, any of the mods, to let them know that we were doing this. So I'm running solo tonight, so just kind of bear with me. And this is a special episode we weren't able to do Sunday, so I wanted to do today. And so we're coming to you tonight on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Hi, everyone. So if you could just give me a thumbs up with whichever platform you are watching me on, that would be wonderful. I missed you too, Megan. Let me pop over into chat and say hi to you guys really quick, and then we'll get started because I'm pretty fired up about this, you guys. If you know me, you know, well, some of you don't know because you're new, and welcome. I don't like this type of behavior because there's a big enough pie for everybody. All content creators can create their content and, you know, happily have their followers. And there's no need for all of this doxing and fighting and I'm taking you to court, and, you know, because you play around, you fuck around, and you're going to find out. I'm sorry, you are. And I'm just glad it's not me. I have some stories I will share because I am equating it back to my Watts case coverage days where, hold on a second, I got to cough real quick. This stuff happened. It happened, and it's stressful. And it makes me angry. And when I get angry, I swear. So there'll probably be some swearing tonight. So there's that. If swearing offends you, maybe this isn't the one for you tonight. So, okay. Yes. Damn you, Gypsy Rose, for doing this. And Thank you for being a member, a Dragonfly for 7 months. The Dragonfly is the membership program over on the YouTube. I release my videos early to the Dragonflies. I am getting ready to release merch. I had an artist draw up some of our stuff, and so I'm getting it onto merch. It's really cool, and all that kind of great stuff. We have some people that have contacted us that want to sponsor us. So we have some new sponsorships coming up, and all that will go early for the Dragonflies, discounts. And it's just a way for me to support you and you to support me. We do lives with our Dragonflies, and it's $2.99 a month. And I will put the link in the YouTube show notes if you're interested. Okay, guys. So let me get things going. Let me get my screen together. Let me come over into chat really quick and say hi. I see Main Chick Carrie. Hey, girl. I see Megan M. Olga. Hello. Guess who? Let me see. Who else do I see here? Liv to skate. Hello. I'm trying to go through it fast. Galacticness, hello. And if I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Oh, Shannon Sylvia. Hey, girl. Hi. Okay, so Megan M, hello. All right, so let me get my screen together. I mentioned that I had talked about content creators over on the Watts case that this happened to. The fighting started. The Watts case is Chris Watts unalived his family, his pregnant wife and his daughter, and the baby in the Shanann's womb was a little boy named Nico. So this was when I was really, really sick. So I wasn't quite a part of this. I came in at the tail end of the Watts case. I had a stroke and a bunch of other stuff, and I was getting better. But I was really engrossed in the Watts case. And I think the Watts case is probably the case I could tell you by like the back of my hand. So the case kind of slowed down. He was in prison. There wasn't a whole lot of stuff coming out. There was a lot of drama that started popping off between content creators, and people actually got their channels taken down. And I covered some of these content creators. I'm not going to go through it, but they were deplatformed. There were quite a few of them. Molly Golightly. I'm trying to think of them off the top of my head. It was Molly Golightly, Armchair Detective, Seeking the Truth with Dave. So there were quite a few of them that their channels are just no more. And some of them were because that the content creators were reporting each other for no reason. They were just wasting YouTube's copyright strike policies. And a lot of it was too that they were going like way and above and beyond what they were reporting on. They were lying, they were doxing each other. They were kind of doing what's happening now in the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case. Does this all sound eerily familiar, you guys? Because I've been kind of hanging out in the background watching this, and it's very, very familiar. And I'm here to say that, is your channel worth losing? Is it really worth all that? Because I know that whether is it really, do you guys think it's worth losing your channel over all of this? Do you think, would you go through all of this? The creators are imploding. It's really sad. And, I was going to stay out of it. But then when they went after Becca, come on. Who goes after Becca Scoops? Becca Scoops is Becca Scoops. I mean, and then 1980 millennial, somebody named the cutting board Dawn. It's those are the three off of the top of my head. And Gypsy Rose is going after Becca Scoops too. So, and I'm sorry, that didn't sound right. On top of it all, those creators are being gone are they're going after another creator is going after those three creators. And then on top of it all, Gypsy is going after Becca Scoops as well. I don't know if Gypsy's going after the other ones. I don't know. I was actually hoping that Gypsy was going to calm down after her baby. But I think what Gypsy does is she tries to pretend like she's Miss Goody Goody behind the scenes after hearing 1980 millennial say that Christy Blanchard was on, I guess it's been taken down, but she was on some live and she said that Gypsy likes people to stand up for her. So that tells me right there, she's sending these people when Ken comes on Sir Morbid or anybody goes on a channel for and defends Gypsy, it's because they feel like they have to for the loyalty for Gypsy Rose. Gypsy Rose is one of those people that you have to prove you're loyalty to me. Like, you can't be friends with somebody I don't like because that will prove that you're not loyal to me. I mean, come on, are you an adult? Adults can be friends with other people that don't get along with other people. You can navigate friendships like that. If you are a person that works within friendship groups, you can do that and be an adult. Sorry, let me get off my, you guys help me because my soapbox is so close to me and I don't want to be standing on it all night long. So I'm going to try not to. I promise I will try not to. But this stuff fires me up like nothing else. Okay. So they're going after Becca Scoops. Let me see what you guys are saying over in chat too. I want to, some people are immature, just completely immature. Like, for example, you can be in my channel and have a different opinion than I do. And I'm okay with it. I am not here to make you think the way I think, because when you're an adult, when you're secure in yourself, you don't care how other people think. You just think the way you think and you stand in your truth. Now, it's not always been like that for me. I've gone through shit. I've not been the person I am today, but I was younger back then and now I'm older, right? We learn, we grow, we mature, we get better with age, hopefully. So maybe this is just a learning lesson for people. And I just always have to believe that when people know better, they do better. That's what I tell myself. Amy, people who want to get better, when they know better, they do better. That's what I say. All right. So they're going after Becca Scoops and I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't always agree with everything that everybody says, but for the most part, if I respect a person, then I'm all for that person, right? If you know at their pace, at their base, at their core, they're a decent person. And we all know this about Becca Scoops. We all know this. If you're in my channel and you're subscribed to me, I know that you know this, okay? So Megan M., thank you for becoming a member. A dragonfly. So I don't like it. This is Becca Scoops' channel. I like to say Becca Scoops because she's just, I mean, she was one of the first Gypsy Rose creators that came out with just facts. Like, this is this, and this, and this, and this. Concise, easy to follow, easy to listen to. Some people complain that it's too slow, but there is a play button where you can speed people up or you can slow them down, because I can be a slow talker too. So there is a speed up button that you can speed us up on. I think us Gen Xers, I think she's a Gen Xers, we were taught to speak slowly. You know, if we spoke too fast, you know, we were told to slow down or stop talking, and then we would have to anyway, and also I was thinking about this too, about the slow talking. She worked in a healthcare field, where she probably would have to tell people things, describe things, explain things, and she would probably have to do it in a slow manner, because people were in trauma. You kind of have to slow things down, because as a social worker, I would have to slow things down for people, because when you're in trauma, you need things, you need things spoon fed to you. But anyway, I was just thinking about that. Anyway, so I love Becca Scoop. Sorry, my mic has a little loose thing and it keeps coming undone. So, all right. So I love Becca Scoops. Let's keep going. And I'm not going to show you clip after clip, but I am not the only one that likes Becca Scoops. And doing this research, I found this type of thing being said about Becca Scoops.
Stop what you're doing. Becca Scoops has just dropped a new video on YouTube. If you don't know Becca Scoops, she drops videos that are all about Gypsy Rose Blanchard and her lies, deceit, and manipulation about her so-called abuse. And this one is all about her mother, who she's villainized and made into a monster, and wanted us all to believe it. I haven't seen it yet. I was on set all day yesterday. I am going immediately to watch this now on YouTube, Becca Scoops, and watch her 5th video, I believe, 6th maybe at this point. I don't know. And if you haven't watched them, watch all of them. Make a day of it. It's probably hot where you are, or raining. Grab a coffee, grab your little blankie, turn on the air conditioner, and watch Becca Scoops.
And this was when she was like 7 videos in, 7 videos, she said. So, Becca Scoops is well known, well loved, and content creators are just not happy about this at all. And I'm not happy about this. And we're going to go in and look at what's going on, because I actually I purposely didn't go into it too far. I know that she's being doxxed, and I know that the Good Wives Network is in on it. And now I know Gypsy Rose has gotten in on it. So first, we're going to look at the Good Wives Network and what they've been up to. And then we're going to go into what Gypsy Rose has been doing. So does that sound like a plan? Florida's hot, but I'm watching. Oh no, actually that was like when Florida was actually hot. Florida was actually pretty cold here today, but if Fancy keeps messing around, she's going to lose her channel. And does she really want that? Because doing these false copyright claims over on YouTube, you will lose your channel. One of the content creators that I mentioned, and I'm not going to bring up their name because I don't want to release the Kraken again, but one of those content creators that over on the Watts case, when I just simply reported, like what I'm doing now, just reporting on what was said, what was done. Not, I don't call people names. I don't like get into what they look like, or, I don't do that. And I didn't do that. And I just reported what they said, what they did, how I felt about it. And they sent their followers from another platform, because they were no longer on YouTube, over to my platform, and they were striking me, and they had me kind of like where 1980 millennial was. If I got one more strike, it was coming down. And it was the first time I was new. I didn't know what was going on. I was so upset. My little bit of my background, I worked very hard on my channel, coming from a domestic situation where I just didn't want to live anymore. And I've worked really hard on my channel. My channel means a lot to me, and you guys mean a lot to me. And I was very new. I didn't know what was going on. I knew if I got one more strike, my channel was going to go down. I didn't know how to fight them. I didn't know any of it because YouTube sends you this paperwork that sounds very legal and very scary. Like, yeah, are you going to fight this? Because you better be willing to go to court if you're going to fight this. Well, you know what? They can only fight this if prior to posting that video, before you getting a hold of it, they put a copyright claim on it. Like, they copywrote every single thing that they did. Every single video, they would have to file in and put a copyright over it. And people don't do that. The only channels that really do something like that are like, Dr. Phil, he's a big one on getting, but the big ones that are on networks are really the only ones that you really have to worry about. Now, you can't just grab somebody's content and just replay it without putting anything else, adding any value to it. You can't do that, but you can show clips of other people's stuff without it being taken down. So what she's doing is YouTube will get sick of it if she continues to do it, and they will just get rid of her. But if she decides she can still back out of it. She can still decide like, maybe this isn't a good idea and I shouldn't do this. There is a thing where you can unclick it and be like, no, this isn't a good idea. The thing that YouTube, and I know that you guys watch Sir Morbid, and I think he explained it, and other channels have explained it, but the thing is like, to fight it, you've got to give them like everything. And a lot of people, they're out there to get you for your name, to dox you and you're just covering true crime. And so YouTube really needs to change the way they do things. So let's get into it. We're going to watch what they're doing to Becca Scoops. I don't really know exactly, but I'm guessing that, am I right what I just said, that they're doxing her? Halo Effect says, Becca and her husband work hard at doing the research and presenting information in an easy to understand way. Her personal life is her business. Exactly. And here's the thing too. There's a lot of people out here. I mean, if you go over to my Facebook page and you'll get my real name, but Parawomenradio isn't my name. And Tidy One Skip isn't her name. Becca Scoops isn't her name. Like, there's a lot of us that are out and it's just actually kind of safe not to have your name right out there. I've actually considered, it's too late now, because when I did Parawomenradio, I was like I even had Amy F. Williamson as a web page. So it's too late now. But if I were to come into this again, I would go under like a pseudo name. I would, because the world is scary. The world is getting scarier. So, and look at what's happening to, like, in this small community. People are doxing each other. For what? For Gypsy Rose Blanchard? And Gypsy Rose Blanchard is probably eating this shit up. I mean, the ego this woman probably has, like, because now people are fighting because of her. Oh, I can't even. Anyway, let's get into it, you guys. Becca made a mistake in her bio on YouTube. I don't know. I actually don't know. So we're going to actually watch. I have, let me see. What do I have up here? We're going to watch some of Cutting Board Dawn, and then we're going to move over and watch some of Tidy One Skip and Becca. Then I have some Sir Morbid that we're going to take a look at. And then we're going to look at Gypsy Rose. I saw that she did a live. I want to at least get some of her nonsense in, because she's the schmurderer. I want to cover the schmurderer, right? Hey, Rosie. How are you doing? It's good to see you. Yeah, if you're talking about Fancy, I hope she realizes that this isn't the smart way to go. When Fancy decided that she wasn't going to call people fat and things like that, I was like, good for her, because in my past, making fun of people, I did call people fat. I did judge people the way that I was being judged, and then I realized how bad it feels to be judged like that. So if I don't want people doing it to me, I'm not going to do it to people. Like, and the way that you stop doing it is by never doing it again. You know, because there's so much that, if you've lived any amount of time back in the 90s, it was a brutal time to be alive. Like, the way you looked, the way you felt, your sexual identity, everything was just under a microscope. And if you weren't quote unquote normal, you were raked through the coals. And I'm sure it's like that still to a certain extent, but it's getting better and better and better. And you need to change with the times. And I think that I think Fancy could pull herself out of this if she would just, like what I tell Gypsy Rose to do, just stop and go away. Like, if you said you're not gonna cover the Gypsy Rose case anymore, don't cover the Gypsy Rose case anymore. Do your work. Focus on your channel and stop focusing on other content creators and worrying. I think what it really is, hold on, I gotta take a drink of water. I'm a straight shooter. I think it's jealousy. I think that she's jealous of Becca. And I said it before, I think she's jealous, and she's letting that jealousy dragon, that jealousy monster eat her up. Just, and I can see Fancy spiraling. Because we all know. Oh, hold on a second, you guys. Hold on a second, you guys. Sorry, like I said, I lost my phone, and so I have my Google Voice up because my friend is supposed to call me and help me get my phone, and I was waiting for them to call. Of course, they're calling in the middle of the live, so sorry about that. So we're gonna take a look at this. I don't remember what I was saying, but I just think that Fancy could come out of this nosedive if she did it right now. So, and I'm rooting for her. I'm always rooting for people. You're not Gypsy Rose, so I'm rooting for you. I still have a nursing license number, but it is inactive, so it's still an identifier, but I can't say I'm a nurse. My license is inactive. Okay, so it's people are like doing, like, if I guess, yeah, I guess that's true, because I don't say I'm a social worker. I always say I'm an ex-social worker, or I used to social work. I don't identify as a social worker anymore, but I don't know. It's just, we know she was a nurse, right? So, all right. But I don't know. I know you guys are having these conversations. And like I said, I purposely have kind of stayed away from all of this because it actually is a little hard for me to deal with all the fighting. I often will have to, backtrack for a while when there's a lot of fighting, because fighting is really hard on me. I think it triggers my post-traumatic stress. So, and I'm a girl trying to get better herself. So, sometimes I just have to back out of these situations, but I'm feeling kind of strong right now. And I asked you guys, and you guys wanted to know. So I did see this a few days ago, 4 days ago. The cutting board came out and said this.
Hi, just a warning to all creators. The evil witch, April Johns, is filing false copyright strikes on creators because she doesn't like the truth. She says she's all about the truth, but she doesn't like the truth when it comes to how evil she is. So yeah, she's filing false copyright strikes. Everything I do falls under fair use, and she's filing false copyright strikes. So just a warning to other channels out there. She's filing false copyright strikes. Yeah. This is what, you know,
When I saw this, it just reminded me of, remember when we all stood by her, by Fancy, and I believe we should still call her Fancy because, I mean, that's the name that she's chosen to go on the internet by. So I'm going to call her Fancy. And when Fancy was being copyright, or was it Fancy or was it Sir Morbid? Someone was being struck, and we all stood behind that person. And now you're pulling this. This is just a low. I don't like this.
wild animals do when their back is against the wall. And she can't handle it. She can't handle truth. She can't handle it. So yeah, that's what she's doing. But I was going to you know, counterfile, but quite frankly, I don't want the bitch to know my real name because
Okay, so that was going on, and then I saw that Toddy had Becca on her channel, so I thought we would take a listen and see what Becca has to say about all of this.
So I guess we could try to explain it the best that's possible. So Becca, I don't know if you want to start. I mean, because I think that you're able to like kind of like simplify and word things better than me, to be honest. So
okay, you're sorry, you're talking about like kind of what my video was about. That's a subject we're talking about, right?
yeah, yes, talking about like how Fancy is involved.
I agree. I mean, if it's brought Christy up on a panel, and you know, I'm sure it's making them feel more comfortable to come back on the internet, because I mean, they're all fighting. And so, and I noticed that Gypsy Rose, her new favorite spot now is over on Instagram. I mean, she's trying Instagram out for and I've been trying to post more of my videos over on Instagram because of it, because she's going to try whatever platform's going to accept her.
Involved in this.
Right.
What exactly is this? Yes.
Right. Okay, so back in 2019, you have to know that Gypsy's still in prison at this point. She is engaged to Ken. They're a thing. And what I came to find out is that possibly, we all know Fancy Maselli, aka April Johns. She had been working with the Blanchards from about 2017 on. So this is 2019. And what I hear that is not fact in this is just speculation, is that possibly there was a falling out that was happening between Fancy, aka April, and the Blanchards. And that Fancy was feeling like, I need to do something, you know, to kind of get back in their good graces. That's all speculation. I don't have anything to back that up. Okay, that's just speculation. But what did happen at that point in 2019 is this woman named Dawn came on the scene, and there were these Facebook groups that were dedicated to going over the case. Okay. And Christy Blanchard was heavily involved with these Facebook.
Okay, so it sounds like they're going over the incident with the Dawn and them sending Dawn in to infiltrate Nick, and them trying to ruin his defense. Am I right? I think that's what we're getting into.
Groups at some point. Okay. So she was kind of around those Facebook groups too, is what I heard. Okay. And April, aka Fancy, was very involved. And this is why this gets so confusing, is because one person has like two names, right? So yeah, that's April Johns, aka Fancy Maselli. And so she was supposed to be working on this, putting out this series, kind of like The Act, the Hulu The Act. She was trying to make this, but apparently she didn't have real connections in Hollywood to pull this off totally. Thus, the fallout with the Blanchards. And there had been, she had gotten contracts signed with them. She had visited them in Louisiana. There's a whole history there between April, aka Fancy, and the Blanchards. And remember, Gypsy's in prison. Okay, so Gypsy's in prison at this time. And so that's kind of the backdrop to what happens next. Now, what I've been told is that Dawn, this woman who has this jaded, sad history of possibly addiction and some run-ins with the law, no judgment on that. That's the backdrop. You need to understand who she is.
Noodles, I'm not really sure what emails that you're talking about. So yeah.
Is and what her motivation.
No, Becca and Toddy aren't on this live. We're actually doing a recap. We're going to watch a little bit of Becca and Toddy, then we're going to move on to Morbid. Then we're going to move on to some of Gypsy's recent live that she did, and we're just going to keep moving.
Factors were possibly for doing what happened. What she did was she started writing to Nicholas Godejohn in prison.
Okay. Yeah.
And she says that it was a romantic relationship.
Gotcha.
Now that's questionable. A lot of people question it because she was like 43 years old at the time. And of course, Nick was just in his 20s at the time. Not that people, with different age groups can, fall in love and all that. But because of her history with the addiction and being in trouble with the law and just coming off of that, where she still didn't have her life together in any way, shape, or form, people were thinking, well, what is she? Why is she writing to this guy in prison? What's this all about? And so she's joined these Facebook groups, is what I heard, and was, saying, hey, she kind of turned on him or something at that point. Now, I have it from a very good source who's done a lot of research on this, that April, aka Fancy, tried to reach out to Dawn at one point, and Dawn didn't want to talk with her. Okay, so we do have some evidence.
So it seems to me like this is all starting to stem from not even just jealousy. Now, Fancy's past bad deeds are starting to come to light, and it sounds to me like Becca might have expedited these things. So let's keep going. I thought this was where Becca starts explaining why Fancy doxed her, but maybe not.
That my source is getting me that April did try to reach out to Dawn initially, and that Dawn rebuffed her and said, no, I don't want to talk to you. At some
before, I'm sorry, so that was before she started talking to Dawn?
Actually, I've got it confused. It's not Fancy that doxed Becca. Then it was Fancy is the one that is threatening to she is copyright striking other people. So this is over regarding Becca Scoops. And can someone just help me fill in the gap here? How did Fancy start fighting with Becca Scoops? Was it because of Becca Scoop finding this information out and putting that latest video, and this has made Fancy angry? Is that what's happening?
No, she's talking. What my sources are telling me is that she was already engaged in writing.
Okay,
some court.
I see someone. Yes, Noodle. Yes. So Fancy used on, and also herself was writing Nick. Becca and Toddy are coming out with that, and that's why Fancy helped Bree dox Becca. Got it. Okay. Got it. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, Gypsy Rose, just period. It's good. It's great coverage. I mean, it's great. I'm impressed by the coverage. I can't even be jealous by it because I'm so impressed by it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, you're not coming out with coverage like that. So why not be happy for a fellow woman that's nailing it? Yeah, she's nailing it. Fancy has been waiting for her chance. Yeah, I noticed long ago, even when they were all doing panels together, she could just barely stand being on the panel with Becca, and I always thought it was because of jealousy. And jealousy is such a wasted emotion. But I feel it too. I feel jealousy. I feel jealous when other content creators get the story that I wanted to get, or they get the interview that I wanted, or I don't get as much views on something as other people. But jealousy that's like healthy. Like it fires me on to want to do more. I'm not jealous of the person as like, I don't know, but you can use it to fire you along and be happy for people at the same time. That's healthy sportsmanship. Becca proved you don't need funding and a production company to put a documentary together with access to platforms like YouTube and today's technology. Yeah. It was over a video that Becca was going to do on Christy that drove Fancy more crazy. Well, I mean, now it's for sure going to be done. Like, it's just like you're inviting it to happen by like running around, it's like when like the rabbit runs around like, oh no, the fox's going to eat me. And so it runs around and around and around, and then the fox eats it. The fox sees it. It's not stupid to call attention. Anyway, so that's what's happening on TV. So let's keep going. Let's watch a little bit of morbid and the Coop's Becca SCOOPS. I had it where I wanted to start, but for some reason
it's day.
Well, happy Valentine's to all of you here. And, okay.
How are you guys?
So stressed out. Hold on, I'm gonna speed it up.
Right.
I'm doing.
Good.
So
Okay.
the last like 5 minutes.
Gotcha. I got it.
Yeah, it is. Definitely, they do it. And that it has me service and Matt's doxing violent guidelines that make you uncomfortable. You can report it. Oh, yeah, but I don't encourage that. I don't encourage that type of thing at all. So sorry, I misread that. Yeah, I don't think we should like do that type of stuff. I think that we should encourage Nancy to do the right thing for sure. Yes, Team Becca SCOOPS, Team for what is right. I mean, it's just what's right. If I swear somebody was going after Fancy, and I remember sitting on here being angry about it, but maybe it was morbid. I don't remember. But I mean, if people are going after other people like that, and it's fair play use, then I swear it was Fancy. And because we all want our right to speak and not to be attacked and have to go like, because if she's going to win, but they're going to win these copyright strikes. But what effectively will be done is the person will have your name and it gets taken down for 2 weeks. And so then the story gets buried. So it's a wasted video that you're putting your energy and time into fighting. And it's just wasted. It's wasted energy. And we're all just doing that to one another. And it makes no sense why to me. Can someone explain it to me?
Do this. We're just going to get it done.
Well, first off, you know what? I'm sorry this is happening to you. This shouldn't happen to anybody. But unfortunately on the internet, it happens and it sucks. But now there's criminal, there's laws against doxing, and in most states actually. So, we could go over that as well. So criminal charges. Prior to that
that's happening. That's happening.
Yeah, for sure. And
right. Yeah, no doubt.
Prior to that was legal battles that you had to go through. But now
you don't have the money for this, Fancy. You don't have the money. You don't have the mental clarity or the mental health to do this. You really don't. These other people do. They're healthier mentally, physically, and financially. You really are. I urge you to think about this. You are shooting yourself right in your foot.
How states have implemented, especially in the state that you live in, which is my state, California. You know, they're pretty serious, and I've been through it just recently, last year, and I've talked about it openly about how they take it seriously, and they you know, anyhow, I'm not going to go into the details now because I want to give you the floor. And
Okay.
where do we start here?
Well,
Because
I think
and I don't want you to say too much, because I know if these charges, these criminal charges that you have to go file and all this stuff, you know, you don't want to have to screw that stuff up either. But I don't think you will. You know,
no,
I don't think there's a
I've
problem.
already spoken with the sheriff's department, so I know what I can say and not say. But I think we'll just do it, because once I do it, they've got nothing. So,
Exactly.
yeah. So I sent you a video, Orbit, that I'd like first.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Well, let's fill in people on what's going on here.
Oh, okay.
Since yesterday, last night, actually, late last night, we got off the live stream, and then more people were sending me stuff. And there were videos that were made by Fancy Maselli from the Good Wives Network, and she's blatantly doxing Becca Scoops' legal name, as well as some other people.
And why?
You know.
Yeah, and we'll get into that too.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, good, because what is the point of putting her legal name out there? Like, what is the point in that? Sorry, I keep saying like. I think I am, instead of a swear jar, I'm gonna have a like jar, because my likes have gotten really bad when I get angry, or I'm like, see, like I say like too much, I am gonna get a like jar.
Just a blatant sort of dox. And they may, some of them, I know in the comments, they're idiots though, because they don't have to take accountability unless they were involved in the dox, which could be figured out. You know, like, you know, the Bree Minions and Ryan Lee, you know, unless Ryan Lee was directly involved, well, then you'll be charged too criminally. So,
Get them all.
So it's all going to fall on, at this time, I would assume, Fancy for sure, because she started it last night, making 3 videos, 2 of them taken down, maybe even the 3rd taken down. You know, doxing Becca.
I sort of had a feeling that this might come to play with Fancy and Morbid. I didn't predict Becca Scoops in this, but you know, just by the fact how they would fight, and then he would let her back up on panel, and I never really understood how, if somebody, I know that whole thing about, there's that whole misunderstanding about Morbid and the P thing out there. And if I had allowed somebody on my panel and they had come across that misunderstanding, and instead of coming to me about it, doing a live or a video about it, I would have not let that person back in my circle. So it always shocked me. Like, to me, like, that would have been all the proof I would have needed to know what this person was capable of to do to me. So I was always shocked about that.
Scoops. Now, it is doxing because we don't know who Becca is, really. And for you to say, oh, it's available on the internet, no, it doesn't work that way. If you're searching for the purpose...
Everyone's on the available on the internet, right?
Yeah. But if you're actually doing the research to really, truly find out someone's identity, when that person doesn't want their identity to be revealed, well, that is most certainly doxing, cyber stalking, in fact, which is additional criminal charges. So I just wanted to give that, context of Fancy started 3 videos on TikTok over there. Most likely all of them were reported. I know a lot of the people in our chat, in our community, were reporting over there, trying to get it down, which led to Says Bree. By the way, now you got a criminal charge because in your state, it looks like it's against the law for what you're doing. So it's going to fall on your shoulders, even though there's an insider amongst your team, right? Because you called it a team that's revealing those who are directly involved in this doxing and helping with it, researching. So Says Bree, you're the face of it. you're the one that uploaded it, even though you're not the one that made the video. But you uploaded on your platforms. Natasha Cooper, same to you. In your
She
state, there's
made
no
that
doxing
video
laws.
morbid.
What was
Yeah,
that?
she made that.
She
You
made
could hear
that
her.
video.
Just
Yeah.
to hear her
And
act through the
Bree.
Bree.
Okay.
And also at the end of the video, she calls her and her team of
Yes.
people over there the F Bree I.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to explain that when investigators, detectives, because trust me, they came to my place too, and they found me. You know, I was that case was dropped, but that was like last year for the same thing because they take this shit seriously. And I'm not gonna go into the details of that, but anyhow, I don't know what else to add, but Natasha Cooper's been doing it right now. She actually is going further and really putting out the name and all this other stuff that she had to research or someone had to do it. And you're a part of that. You know, on these live streams, we never put up anyone's personal private information.
I don't think anybody's perfect in these situations, and I don't agree sending people over to other people's pages and doing this or doing that, or you know, and it can get a little brutal over there. So you don't really catch me over there too much, but. Not to say that, like, in my past, that might have been something I would have loved, because I was brutal in my past when I was like in more of my dark phase. I was, but that's just not who I want to be. It's not, and I don't condemn. I don't think I'm bigger. I don't think I'm better. It just kills my soul, and I'm fighting for, like, I don't want to feel like that anymore. So I try to fill it more with lightness and differentness, but it doesn't mean that I think I'm better or bigger or anything like that. It's just, I don't know a whole lot about, like, the nitty gritty details, because it's just too brutal for me. I've come to realize, like, people, you know, always would say, like, I'm a softie, or I am a softie. I am. And as I get older, I'm getting into it, and I'm feeling okay with protecting myself from certain things. And I think you guys should too. You should be sure to, if you consume this type of content, be sure to consume stuff that feeds your soul too. You know, be aware of all of this, but do something. Watch an animal video, or a water video, or I don't know, something to make yourself feel lighter and brighter, because this back and forth fighting constantly, I can't even imagine. But I mean, I can actually imagine. I think it would have been something I would have done maybe 20 years ago. So
may put up a picture of them, you know, a screenshot of them on a camera, and we make funny and we have a good old time. And they get their panties in a bunch. But when their personal information's out there, that's a no-no. It's a criminal charge, and you know, that is something they would have to deal with.
It's sort of
so, anyhow, Becca,
how I've always sort of liked watching reality TV, but you know, like, because I don't have to be a part of that drama, right? You can just kind of watch the train wreck, but I mean, I don't want to be a part of it. And I think that when you're so deep in it, maybe you don't know how to get out of it. And now I don't know. I hope this doesn't make this community implode.
I don't know if there's anything else to add to that.
No, I think that sums up what's happened.
You watch plenty of animals.
Now, you wanted me to show a video first?
Yeah, I think.
See, and that's the thing.
I'm just going to spill it all.
Some people are very supportive. Like Laura Lynn. I think Laura Lynn is one of Morbid's moderators. Like it's just. I think that to each their own. If you can find support in this. I mean, some people will say, why on earth would you even talk about true crime? People like look at all of us like we're all under this umbrella, this true crime umbrella. Like, why would you talk about all this? And then on top of it all, we're going like into this niche of Gypsy Rose. And then on top of that, you're going into the niche of the creators fighting. I mean, it's too far deep for me. I'll report on it from time to time when I'm involved in it. Yeah. It's a lot. I don't know how they could do it night or night being involved in it, but I guess it's like their life, right?
probably play that video because that'll be an then I won't have to go over a lot of things.
Oh, me.
Officially sworn in.
I think we need to remember why we're all doing it. We're fighting for justice because injustice happened because a murderer is free and is becoming a millionaire. And I just think we need to maybe pull it back. But I don't know how you pull it back when, like, I don't know how Becca Scoops could possibly pull it back at this point because she's been attacked. So it's just, how do you pull it back from that? I don't know.
Be a video of my son.
Okay.
What?
And that's
What
all.
do you mean?
And it'll be self-explanatory
Okay.
when you see it.
Yeah. I think
Some of
I've
you have seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it.
I have
good.
not.
All right, let me set this up here. Sorry. I have to set it up so that you guys can. Yeah, it's terrible that you have to go through this, but you know what?
It's fine.
Yeah,
It's
you'll
fine.
be
Let's
fine.
just get it done. Yeah.
And these people will. They made their decision. And
This is nothing
a
compared to
criminal
my life. So we're just going to tell it all. It's really nothing.
yeah, it truly is. It's really stupid, actually, that these people would
Yeah.
put this stuff out there. But
And I just want to say I appreciate all the support.
of course, you're not going to lose support over this. They're just these vile, disgusting, jealous people that think they
They just-
won, but they didn't. Not
No,
when the
they think they
detective
know.
showed up.
They think they know the story, and when they hear it, they're
They
going to
just
be
go with
fucking shocked because
Did you watch-
you guys don't even know all of it. It's a story. And so
Sure.
here we go.
Need more to this. I'm sure that's when people are like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "I'm waiting for Becca because I'm sure she. There's way more. This is very rudimentary and
Yeah.
quote information." So
And I'll tell you what, those videos that were sent to me, even the Brie one and all this stuff, where I did see the docs, I kind of skimmed through it. I'm like, holy shit, they're really doxing her and putting her information out there. I don't even listen to it. I mean, they're not reliable
Well, they're
sources.
not credible. So yeah.
No,
Facts.
no.
Yeah.
And,
they-
none
Did
of
you
them.
watch it, Becca?
Hey, Lisa.
I watched a little bit, and I'm just like, oh, come on. Okay, no, I'm just going to tell tell the truth, and I don't need
Okay.
to watch it.
That's it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But all right. So
Hi to everybody coming in. Welcome. Be sure to give this live a thumbs up. And yeah,
I'm going to play this.
we are going over now. We are into watching Sir Morbid. Becca Scoops is explaining what is going on.
You ready? Okay. Here we go.
This is in 2018.
2018.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yes, yes.
Well, Jeff, the graduating recruits got their badges in front of family and friends here today, and tomorrow they'll be officially sworn in as deputies. For Joseph Blair, entering a career of service is achieving his dreams and honoring his fallen father. The graduating recruits of LA County Sheriff's Academy Class 429 are marching in for their badge pinning ceremony. Their footsteps strong and proud. But for recruit Joseph Blair, he is following his father's footsteps.
He was a deputy already when I was born, and it was something I've always, looked up to him and wanted to do as well. He's my first hero.
Deputy Stephen Blair was Joseph's dad. When Joseph was only 6 years old, the 9-year veteran of the sheriff's department was shot and killed in Linwood during a crackdown on area gangs in May of 1995. Joseph says his family's loss didn't discourage his dream of becoming a deputy, just like his dad.
I do have a picture in my room. Every time I wake up, I look at him and see that, reminds me of just to keep working hard in his name.
On this day, Joseph stands in front of the memorial wall that bears his dad's name as he gets pinned. Joseph has always kept his father in his heart, now a badge close to it with the numbers his father wore.
He's on my mind pretty much every day, even before the academy, even more so today. I get to wear, his same badge number, so it means a lot to me.
Sheriff Jim McDonald was there to congratulate the graduates and to recognize Joseph's accomplishments.
To be able to see, Joe come on the job and to be able to have the excitement that he has, the passion for the mission, and to have such a supportive family who's been through so much, but yet has encouraged him every step of the way.
I believe he's watching over me for sure. It's been a long journey, 22 weeks, even before then, just trying to get to this point. It's all coming together. It's very emotional. And I would just tell him, I love you, and I hope, I can do my best to, make you proud.
Sheriff McDonald says out of 100 people who take the test to become an LA deputy sheriff, only 4 make it to the academy and only 3 make it through the academy. So definitely a huge achievement. Back to you in the studio.
Certainly.
Wow. Number one, you did a fantastic job in raising your son there.
Thank you.
And I know how difficult it is. LAPD, I've had a friend who was with LAPD for 10 to 12 years, somewhere around there. It was like 11 years. And then he joined SWAT. He was on Metro or just like, hitting the streets for a while. That's where he started off. It's so difficult to finally get picked. I know he tried to go for SWAT for quite some time. and then he finally got picked. He was the first Korean Asian to be a part of the SWAT team, and it's really difficult to get these positions. And they put the stats out there for sheriff, and so what an accomplishment that is. So there off the bat, congratulations.
And he wasn't given special treatment. It took him twice to go through the whole process before he got it. It was they don't play.
No, not LA County is so. I mean, as far as law enforcement, it's competitive as heck. The best of the best, same as NYPD. Like the bigger sort of
40,000
places. But anyhow, go ahead, Becca. I want to.
So that's kind of my background. So now you know that that my first husband was shot and killed. At the time, we were divorced for 4 months. The night he was killed, what happens is they don't want to call you on the phone. They want to come and pick you up and bring you to the hospital. And so when I was brought to the hospital, I kind of figured, this.
I mean, it really irritates me that she's up here having to even do this. Like, she's had this tragedy happen to her, and now she's up here having to explain this. It's just outrageous.
Not going to be good.
I'm like so mad. I'm shaking.
And when I got there, Steve's mom, so my ex-husband's mom, we were very close because I met Steve when I was 16.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm going to cry.
Oh,
oh, this makes me mad that you
this
even
makes
have to.
me so
But
mad.
I have to say it now because
you don't have to. You don't owe
I do
anyone
because I don't want
explanation.
to. I'm sick of these people.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Here's the thing. Everybody has a background, good or bad, to a certain extent. If you're a human being, you've lived, you've experienced things, and you shouldn't have to. If you report things on the internet, you shouldn't have to come on here and do this kind of stuff. I mean, I've got a background. I've had stuff. I've been a professional. I've had things happen in my life. I've had, I've talked to you about. I'm recovering from a domestic abuse situation that didn't put me in the best light of. I just can't even imagine having to defend yourself for losing your husband. It's just outrageous. Outrageous.
I understand, it'll always continue. This only makes you stronger.
It will.
Especially when you're going to be on this platform. You're successful here. People love you. People respect the way
it's only going to make it'll only make her stronger. It's not what she wants to do, but she's doing it. And now, now it's out there, and she can just continue to make her kick-ass content.
Your husband. So you're going to be around. You're in it for the long haul, and you will be you are already well respected and loved. So this is your story, and it's no one else's. So it's unfortunate people dig into that stuff.
Yeah. So this is like could be a movie. What I'm about to tell you. When I get there, of course he's dead. He was shot, and he's dead. And so they bring you to this room, and I'm sitting around, and unfortunately, why we got a divorce was because he was having an affair with this woman named Dana.
Okay, so now she has to come on and say this on top of it. Ugh.
I have no hatred towards her. This is 30 years ago.
Right.
But at the time when I get there, no one knows that they got married. They secretly got married.
Right.
It was the craziest ass thing. And I don't, like I say a lot, no one's all good or all bad. And Steve, my husband, ex-husband, he was an excellent police officer, but maybe not too great of a husband.
Right.
Yeah.
But he was a good person.
Yeah, I can say that about my ex-husband too. Something similar happened to me. I, at the time, not happy about it, but I can say overall, I think he's a good person. And people make mistakes. I've never made that mistake, but I've made mistakes. And if I want to be forgiven for my mistakes, you have to allow others to be forgiven. And he can't even be forgiven because he's not even alive. But
yeah.
Anyways, no one knew that they were married, and it was just a crazy
right.
Thing. And then
I don't know. I'm like torn. Should I fast forward through this because I really feel like this is none of my business.
Married to Dana, I guess they got married, and he went to work the same day. It was just the most bizarre story I've ever heard. And so that night, they also had to make a notification to another woman that he was seeing on the side. It was a mess. And so the guy was arrested. They finally found the guy that shot and killed him. He was a gang member, a very notorious gang down in the Compton area. And because we were divorced, the defense, the guy, the murderer, his defense attorney decides, wouldn't it be a great idea if we got Rebecca to be our state witness? Wouldn't it be a great idea to have her talk trash about her ex-husband on the stand, and maybe we can get some reasonable doubt of who shot who? Okay.
Right.
It was a crazy attempt to do this. Nonetheless, I had to take the stand. I had to go up there and be a witness for the man that killed the father of my 3 sons. And they got my divorce papers. And I don't know if anyone's been through a divorce. It can be very messy.
Exactly, Jonesy. Exactly. I mean, I don't care if someone asks me to stand up for my ex-husband, I would do it. And for one, I love his mother. Like my mother-in-law has like become my mother. You know, she's like one of the best people I know in the world. And I would just stand up for him, for her alone. But I mean, there are people that you can get over and move on with your life and not hate that person. I don't think there's anybody that I really hate in this world. There's people that I strongly despise and that have strongly hurt me, but I don't feel those feelings for people. Because if you feel hate, then you carry it around with you. You're not just like, it's just not like a one-time feeling. Like it's something you carry around. You carry around hate in you. When people say, like, I was watching Gabby Petito, her mother said that she's forgiven Brian, and you know, like they're like, then we don't do it for them, we do it for us, you know, because we don't want to hate. We don't want that feeling.
And you know, our divorce was kind of messy, and
especially with 3 children and all, and
3 small children, all under 10. And there was a night where, you know, I found out that he was cheating, and that night, yeah, I'm Italian, yeah, I got pissed, and there was like an altercation at our house. And
that's another thing. People are not perfect victims. People react in situations, you know, and you don't always react the best way, you know, like people say, yeah, but then, you know, when they did this to them, then they did this. And it's like, well, yeah, they reacted. Okay. And people don't always react in the best way possible. Like I can't tell you how many times where I've thought later, like, geez, Amy, I wish you hadn't reacted that way. But I try to get better, you know, when you try to analyze it and like, that wasn't the great way to, especially when you got a fiery temper, you know, you try to analyze things later and you're like, that wasn't the way to react. But it happens. It happens.
That's not unusual, by the way.
He called the cops on me because I was totally crazy, throwing his clothes out into the, you know, lawn, out to the lawn, and I was crazy. And so that was in the divorce papers. That's the point of all that story, is that was in the divorce papers. And so they were going to bring this up to try to say, yeah, but wasn't he to say that he was volatile and he had a temper and blah, 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 blah. And so when I get on the stand, this is still hammering me.
The not a perfect victim stuff because she's been in therapy, and that's a therapy thing that you are told that, and there's truth to it when you're not a planned and convicted murderer. There's truth to it. So this is what I've said about Gypsy Rose. Gypsy Rose getting therapy is a dangerous Gypsy Rose, because now Gypsy Rose has the lingo. Because, you know, my BA is in sociology, psychology. I'm an ex-social worker. Yada, yada, yada. So she is using her words. She's using her therapy words.
Are hammering me with these questions over and over, and I'm like, no. And finally the attorney like screams at me, take her as a hostile witness. That's how I know what a hostile witness is, because they tried to take me as a hostile witness. And the judge,
Laura Lynn, I lost my phone, so I couldn't text anybody, and the person that's supposed to help me get my phone called me, and I'm on the live. So I'm sorry I wasn't able to, and this is a last minute, but I'm so happy you're here. Yay. Our lady in blue is here, Laura Lynn. Hi, Laura Lynn.
allowed it, yeah, so that they could question me even further, hammering me. And finally, and that was, when someone gets the court transcripts, if they're just reading everything out of context, you see how things can be taken out of context?
Yeah.
Totally out of context, right?
So
I'm
the
up
defense
there
is trying. Their attempt is to do character assassination against your ex.
against my ex.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
were you subpoenaed?
I'm not going to allow
Becca?
it.
You were subpoenaed. Were you forced to? I don't know how it works.
Forced.
Was it a
yeah, I
subpoena
was
that you had to?
subpoena.
Okay, so you had no choice. You had to go up.
No,
take the
absolutely
stand.
no choice. It was a capital murder trial. The guy's on death row now.
Oh, wow.
So,
And Gypsy's out in the streets. But go ahead.
yeah.
Outrageous. See, and and I'm a Gen Xer, and I always have to fight my psychology degree with my Gen X attitude. Like, I'm like that friend where if someone does somebody wrong, I'm like, you want to ride at midnight? I can get my my sock, my doorknob, and we can ride at midnight. I'm that type of friend that will stand behind someone. When I feel somebody's wronged, and I always have to fight that urge because it's not the way to be anymore.
So they're hammering me, and finally they say, well, why would you oh right, you're the one that attacked him, and why is that? And then I had to say, well, because he was having an affair. So that's the background of that whole my testimony, people saying whatever. I haven't heard all the allegations about that was coming out about my court testimony, that I was a liar or something. No, I wasn't a liar. I was put on the stand as a witness for the man that shot and killed my high school sweetheart, the father of my 3 sons. Yeah, that's what that was about. But go on, keep telling your tales, people.
And again,
So-
it's disgusting because it is doxing. It's a criminal offense in most states, especially the ones, Louisiana being one. Bree, Fancy, Kentucky has it. And you know what? What's more important? California has it. And it's one of the stricter criminal charges you could receive. And it was done here and maybe 2 states. And, like an inner sort of commerce type thing. I don't know. I was trying to read up on a lot of that stuff. But
yeah,
the fact that they would pry in and try to get your private information this way, because who the hell has the time? I'm not going to spend time trying to figure out who the hell Bree is. I don't even know who
I don't
Bree
care
is.
who anybody
Yeah.
is. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
get
what is the point? I don't agree with what has happened to Bree's husband or any of that. But I don't agree with the back and forth either. Like, oh, because they did it to me, I'm going to do it to you. And I don't agree with the back and forth. I don't agree with, like, just don't start it to begin with. And then, and if it happens to you, then, do what Becca's doing. Come out and explain it, and then legally, I guess, deal with it. I don't see Becca coming out reporting what Bree's, name is, or I don't see that happening.
that kind of.
But that's cyber stalking, and that's a
Yes.
criminal charge.
Yeah,
They don't know this,
so-
and this is very new. And I know of it because I was charged of it, or they were not charged of it, but they were
This
trying
was
to.
something that happened, I think, over on TikTok. I had asked about this. It was the guy with all the tattoos on the face, I think, said that he was having an affair with Bree's husband. And it was something that was went like wildfire over on TikTok, but I didn't see a lot of it over on YouTube.
Come up with this horse shit. But detectives came to my fucking house in regards to this online bullshit drama, but they didn't have the proof. But we're gonna send over Becca Scoops every single proof. Bree, you're on the hot seat because it's coming out of your.
I
YouTube.
love my boomers. We've got quite a bit of. We've got millennials, Gen Xers, and boomers. Those are the 3. We're almost equal in the amount, and then we've got just a teeny tiny few of whatever the really young people are. I think they're Gen Zs.
YouTube channel that's tied to you.
Yeah, it's
Natasha
not-
Cooper, we got screen recordings. I'm going to send it over to Becca Scoops after this live's over. I'm going to send her every single piece of evidence that I've received, and it's quite damning. And Fancy, it's pretty damning. And we have all the URLs. All of that could be subpoenaed to.
I
in
don't think
court,
Fancy wants to
especially,
fight this
criminal charges
war.
to the DA, and you kind of fucked, But anyhow, sorry, Becca.
Oh no,
wanna add all that.
I appreciate that. Now, because the trial was a guy that was in a notorious
Yeah, I
gang,
know the boomers and the
many of the
millennials.
witnesses,
Boomers and the millennials don't get along, but I love the boomers. I like the boomers and I like the millennials. I get along with both because, you know, I'm a Gen X. I don't really care what people think one way or another. I just care about what I think, and boomers and millennials are very concerned about what others think.
we had to go into witness protection.
I bet.
I was offered it. I didn't want it. So this is the issue of it being dangerous to out who I am and where I am, because I didn't do what they wanted me to do on the stand, obviously, and I became a target also, and there were death threats. And
oh my
you
God!
know, this is 30 years ago. Gotten over it. You can imagine. At
Well,
the time,
I'm
with
sure,
three
like
young
the post
sons, the department is telling you you've got death threats, and I've got cops in my living room 24/7 for a few months. Yeah.
Yep.
Till I
In
could
LA
move.
County.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is where a lot of notorious crimes like O.J. Simpson, you know, all of that, man.
Oh, God. Menendez brothers. I mean, we could
Unbelievable. Yeah.
on Golden State Killer. I mean,
She said he's still on death row. Has anybody figured out who this person is? And I mean, I guess it wouldn't be hard to do because it would be somebody still on death row for unaliving a cop.
Yeah, so I can imagine.
So yeah, some of the witnesses are in witness protection to this day. I know that for a fact because I get called. I have a sheriff liaison that calls me. Around the same time, there was the Rodney King riots. I don't know if you guys probably heard about that. Those also, and my father's
I've
store.
gone through a lot and I've faced my darkness. And if I can look at my darkness and be okay with it and say, like, yeah, that's dark and I did that and I'd never want to do that again. I can look at other people's darkness and kind of spot it just like that and be like, I see that. I recognize it. Because usually if I recognize something in another person, it's because I either was it or it was done to me. And that's true for most people. I think it's true for everyone.
His only income burnt down during that. And so at the time when all of this happened with the Rodney King thing, my parents were out. Their main income, Steve was murdered. I got 3 days off and then I had to go back to work because we needed the money. Because Dana, the woman, and please, I hope no one tries to find her. She's not on social media anywhere.
Yeah, leave that woman alone.
Yes, thank you.
Please don't. Yeah, that's not going to be good.
More people into this.
Anyways, I don't want to get into what happened with her. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not
no,
going
it's
to.
nobody's
I'm not going to. It's not fair for her.
Don't worry. The
No.
people that already started this, Fancy, Bree, and now Natasha Cooper jumping on board, at least those are 3 criminal charges that will be brought to light, and you guys will have to deal with it with your own DA and prosecution, and in California as well. So good luck to y'all. So don't, you know.
Okay, so let's move on and let's watch the next Sir Morbid that they just did. Apparently now Gypsy Rose docked Becca Scoops to her 9 million followers. So let's keep it moving. Be sure to give this live a thumbs up, guys. Helps us dance out into the algorithm. Party out there, bring more people back to the party. It's just a free way to help us out, and it's really, really appreciated. You had swarms of dragonflies in your yards? They were big as hummingbirds. Yes, I get dragonflies. Did you know that there's dragonflies all over our YouTube channel? It's our membership program. It's called the Dragonflies. Here, let me tell you a little bit about it. Let's take a quick break and let me tell you about the Dragonflies. And if you're not subscribed, why are you not subscribed? I would really, really, really love to have you as a power subscriber. If you really like my content, be sure to become a Dragonfly, and that's our membership, and it's $2.99 a month. I release all my videos early. We have special emojis over in the chat room. I kind of share things ahead of time with my Dragonflies, and I go live sometimes just for the Dragonflies. It's a way that I can support you guys and give you more content, and it's a way for you to support our channel. It's $2.99 a month, and I would love to have you. Okay, so let's go on to Sir Morbid's. This is Gypsy Rose doxed Becca Scoop to her 9 million followers. And yeah, it continues.
Hey, I don't know who that is.
Hello.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you like highlight my picture?
Oh,
Yeah.
who is that? What is this?
I'm gonna tell everybody who it is. So this is part of the FBI. This is Beth. Okay, the one that claims to have a traumatic brain injury when in fact she's just redacted. But anyhow, she
Let's
decided.
not give her full name here or anything like that.
I'm not going to do that. I don't do that, Morbid. But no, she goes by Beth. Ali Moose or whatever it is.
Oh, that
Ayla Moose. I don't know how you pronounce it. Anyhow, she thought it'd be a good idea today to dox my children. Yeah.
What?
Beth.
What?
Yeah, Beth. Why don't you come up and tell everyone what you did, Beth? You child predator. Why do you know anything about my children? You're fucking disgusting. And just wait. This is only the beginning. Okay? That's all I have to say.
It's getting out of hand.
That's gross.
I swear to God. Fuck you, Beth.
Absolutely. These people are on
Why?
a different level of
Why
operation.
would you do that to
That's
a
why they have low
child?
IQ. And Bree, you drag in Gypsy Rose into this because now she's committed a crime on the internet, which is documented now. I have pretty much the evidence here, and I've got more coming. I have multiple screenshots that she reposted the docs, and it's a dox because we're going to get into the terms, especially when it comes to California law, which Becca lives in California. So, anyhow, I'm going to get into the specifics and explain exactly why it's a dox.
Who do you think, just out of curiosity, so like out of the top creators that cover like the Gypsy Rose case, like say we'll put Morbid, we'll put Nina, we'll put Fancy, we'll put Toddy, and we'll put Becca Scoop. Out of those four, who do you think the Blanchards despise the most? Who do you think they would most like to see burn and crash if they could choose one of those? Just out of curiosity.
And also some blackmail, which I have evidence of that came personally to me through a message from Bree herself.
Let me
literally
get a poll.
doxing, not only admitting to the dox, but also trying to bargain blackmail and say, I will drop it if you do this, as if I have any control over what she's asking for me to do, which is insane. She just said that the other day. I never replied because why? I don't want to communicate with that jerk off. But yeah, we'll get into all that.
Oh, I'm seething. Oh my
Who
God.
was it, Morbid?
What was that? Say that again. I'm sorry.
Who was it?
Says
That
Bree.
Okay.
So it's a blackmail directly to me against Becca Scoops.
Okay.
I'll show you guys the proof in a moment here. Let's see who else is backstage. Okay, so we got that. All right, cool. I am going to let some folks up in a moment here. But I guess let's hop right into it. If unless you guys have something else to share.
No, I just got a crowbar in. Ever since I saw that, I did see the Dreamer video. I haven't stopped laughing because she thinks that the AI of you is a picture.
Yeah, she thinks that's the real picture of me. Hey, you know what? I guess I'll take that over reality.
Okay, I started a poll. Which creator do you think the Blanchards would want to blow up first? Fancy, Morbid, Becca, or Nina? I used to think it was Nina, but now I'm thinking it's Becca. So I don't know.
That's hilarious.
And you should be ashamed of your wrinkles.
Yeah, they already got Nina fired.
So this doxing,
but they didn't get her taken off the internet. I mean, like taken down off the internet. Like if they could, that's why I think they're coming out of the woodwork for Fancy, because they're just hoping that Fancy will be canceled.
happening of your children there, Starlight? Is it on
So-
TikTok?
Hey,
No, it was in
Lexi.
a Discord, so it's not like on a platform. But so we were in said Discord, and they were arguing. They're flipping out over us saying that they doxed Becca because they're insisting that they didn't dox Becca. Blah 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 blah. They didn't blah 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 blah. So
according to them.
So they keep bringing up this Beth person's article. I don't know. I haven't seen the article. But they always bring it up. So to show like their, I don't want to use the word hypocrisy. I don't know. I was trying to use that as an example. They brought the article up. They're like, so and so had that article. I said, could somebody send me the article, for my research? Because Bree was in the Discord saying things like that, she's not doxing Becca because she was putting out the truth and she was just researching it and blah blah blah. So I said, send me that article so I can do my research. And
I wanted to throw Katie Joy up there too, but it wouldn't let me do the fifth option. I think she's one of the ones. I mean, she's kind of like gone, but I think they wouldn't mind if she got canceled too.
It triggered her and she went crazy and doxed my children.
Wow. That is pretty. You should keep track of that stuff. And
yeah. So
it was really disturbing because like she knew the name, how to spell their names and everything.
They showed she published or whatever. She said their names.
Yeah.
Fuck her.
Yeah. Correct spelling and everything. So they're which tells you they've been looking into that, which is so disturbing.
Disgusting. I'm sorry.
I am so sick right now, and I wasn't going to come up, but I am so fucking mad right now because kids are off limits.
Exactly.
That's what I thought.
God almighty.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know.
We know that they're okay.
They didn't know they were going after people's children. I mean, I guess if you go after a child, then it really shows. You know how I feel about harming children, so I just, you're the lowest of the low, in my opinion.
With it though, because they had no problem doing it to Morbid and actually showing his children.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these are the people we're dealing with. Bree said on her live that she was up all night.
They've been attacking you?
That she lost sleep because she wanted to dig into this woman's life. And what Bree is not understanding, because she's trying to justify, like, oh, it's not doxing. I didn't put her address out. It's public information. It's about intent. It's about intent and what you did. And your mouth is your own worst enemy, Bree, because you've implicated yourself repeatedly. You have told people to share the information. You didn't put it out for research or truth. You did it to put a target on Becca's back and have people attack her.
Yep.
It's malicious intent. Look it up.
Exactly. Actually, it's stated in the California state law, laws against doxing. If it's intentional and it's malicious, which both are, and we're going to get into the definitions of that, looking at the state laws of California and why they broke, this could be anywhere from a misdemeanor that serves up to maybe even 6 months to a year in jail or prison or whatever. I have to look at the details because I'm kind of going off the fly here.
I don't know. I am so skeptical of that because we can't even get Gypsy Rose in trouble. How you think? I don't know. But maybe Gypsy Rose is just sheltered and protected somehow and other people won't be. But I can't see how, I don't know, but I can't see how this is not going to end well, because do you guys not feel the ramping up of the speed of all of this? Like, if they're doxing children, I mean, it is ramping up. There are no limits. When there are no limits, things get dangerous, even more dangerous.
Seen it there. It's malicious. If you went out there to seek private information without the consent of that other party, that right there is doxing. So that's what they did. They went researched it for malicious purposes to expose.
And also
the one that Gypsy Rose is friends with, is that what you're talking about? That the corrections officers that Gypsy was friends with in prison?
Include in your video that you're calling yourself and your group of friends, you're implicating all your friends as well, calling yourself the FBI, and
so
including
low cal.
It is, but it's stupid also because you're
literally
saying that you're investigating.
It is kind of funny.
Which is
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Real life.
weird.
FBI. That is funny. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And
Doesn't mean I like her.
I just
what else
found
was
out
it?
that yeah, apparently they got my picture, so they're coming for me next. So.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well,
That blows my mind. I don't know what you've done. You haven't done anything.
Well, it's just because I'm here, and
Exactly.
So it is what it is.
But you know what really makes me mad is that they're trying to normalize doxing. They're trying to normalize
Yeah.
investigating people and looking to see what skeletons they may have in their closet. And that is not normal behavior at all.
yeah. I mean, that's a very common tactic for internet trolls, the classic internet troll. You know, I've dealt with these stalkers, harassers, cyber stalkers, cyber using the internet for harassing in that sort of way.
But they don't usually have large platforms like that. Usually they're sending, I don't know. I don't know.
Targeted harassment. That's all cyber stalking. You know, again, that's against the law too in Louisiana. Louisiana doesn't have a doxing law, but they include it within the cyber stalking, which is very
How
similar.
can her parole officer be allowing her to hang out with people that will do these type of things on her behalf? And June is just around the corner, my friends. So it's either going to make things 10 times worse, or it's going to speed it up so that problem is solved. I don't, like something bad's going to happen, in other words.
To what California state law is. So essentially, they might not have a law in Louisiana, but it doesn't matter because the victims in California anyhow that you dox. So the report the report is out here in Cali, and it'll just go to your jurisdiction over there. And you may have two things that you're doing. I don't know. There might be a federal sort of law against this stuff too. That might. And I only know this firsthand because it's happened to me last year, and I had to go through that bogus sort of thing. And they take it seriously. They actually send detectives out and open up a case to see if you're going to get prosecuted by the DEA, and if there's sufficient evidence, which there is here. There's overwhelming evidence, and there's admission to guilt. And we're going to get into that because I have that too. I've got so much, and now adding blackmail to it, saying we're not going to share her private information, essentially, if you do this and this and that. We're going to show it right here. But
that's what I say. Like, they think they're smart. Y'all are so stupid. You have implicated yourself in so
Thanks, Lisa. I'll talk to you later.
much shit. Buckle up, motherfuckers.
Yeah, I don't know how you're calm, Starlight, because honestly,
I'm not. This is
I
me
swear to
mad. I'm
God,
mad right now.
Yeah, I
if
can
they
tell
come
she's
after-
off. She's
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
upset.
Okay. So it looks like Starlight was doxxed. Let's go forward and see what else.
I'll do that list because you're saying,
Yeah.
hey, I mean,
Mhm.
here it is, guys. Take a screenshot.
And I have a
All
clip.
right, let me read this. So this is a screenshot from Bree, and she says, I get it. Your people are mad because I exposed Becca's past. What I didn't do was bring members of her family into it. What Becca is doing is illegal, and she should face criminal charges. What? What is she doing illegal? But I never had intentions on doing that. I just believe that content creators should be honest with their followers. That's all I intend. This could end now, and I won't take it any further if your people would stop threatening my husband, who is not involved with any of this. Fancy dropped her name. I found what was publicly available. Why go after my husband? I didn't go after Becca's husband. I showed public information on her, someone who chooses to come on the internet daily. She just, like I, puts herself out there, but because my husband doesn't deserve people threatening him or his job, I'm willing to get my people to back off of Becca. If you tell your people to stop threatening my husband, I'll leave it up to you. Well, that's a threat, though. That's a threat. All right, so let's move on, you guys. I want to talk about Christy going up on a live and Gypsy's latest live that she did. I thought this was interesting, though. In doing the research, I saw this said about Becca Scoop.
No control of her. I tried to give her good advice. I told her I thought it was a great idea that she get out of prison and kind of fade in. I don't care if she gets a job at McDonald's or whatever. We're going to be here supporting her with or without me. We're always going to be here for her. Some of the things that Becca Scoops and Fancy and all say, they may have some merit. No control of her. I tried to give her.
So even Rod agreed with Becca Scoops, what some of Becca Scoops has to say. Yeah, no, Becca, this is not right, but I mean, she's handling it in an amazing way. So Christy Blanchard joined the conversation. I couldn't find the video. Apparently it's been taken down. And this is by 1980 Millennial Commentates. And she said that the live appears to be privated right now. So she couldn't share the link. So I couldn't go to it. But this is a video that she put out about Christy Blanchard joining a live regarding Fancy.
Hey friends, so yesterday morning after Fancy went on her copyright strike spree with a ton of channels, one of the ones that she copyright struck was Uncorked with Brandy, and Brandy reached out and told me she was going to do a live and invited me to come up. Now I know a lot of people don't like Uncorked with Brandy, can't believe that I'm chill with her. I don't agree with her on things. Literally every interaction that Brandy and I have almost ever had has been us disagreeing on things, just doing it respectfully because, we only really talk to each other about this case at the moment. So yeah, I just wanted to let everyone know before you jump in my comments. I'm aware that Brandy's went back and forth with Fancy and blah, blah, blah. She could go back to Fancy again. I don't know. I don't think she will, but Fancy could do a real 180 and Brandy could decide to give her another chance. That would be Brandy's prerogative. We've all got free will. That's her business if she decides to do that. But anyway, I just want to put that out there. So we're up there talking on the live. Cutting Board Dawn, Alora from Into the Weeds came up, so that was fun. Always love talking to them. And at that point, Christy Blanchard shows up in the comments and Brandy invited her up. I don't know if Brandy had let her know about the live. That's cool if she did, but or if Christy just happened in. But I was happy to get the opportunity to ask Christy some questions. Now, the subject of the live was Fancy, and so I didn't want to be rude to or disrespectful to Brandy's live and start asking a bunch of questions about things that weren't related. So some of you may be disappointed in the questions that I asked her, and that's okay if you are, but...
So I've been looking over on Uncorked with Brandy, and I don't see it up there. So we'll have to continue to watch this.
Like I said, I wanted to be respectful to the subject, to my host. And then there's also the fact that I was just in a straight petty mood and I wanted to know if Christy would dish any dirt on Fancy. And oh my God, y'all, did she?
No, I think I did find it. It's like 4 hours long. So we'll look at this and then we'll pop over and look through it.
I'm putting the link to Brandy's live in the description. Go watch y'all if you want to hear some dirt on Fancy. So I just also want to say, just because I believe Christy on some of these things doesn't mean that I see her as a completely reliable source in all things. Christy, if you're watching, I don't mean that in any kind of malicious way. I know you told me you watch a lot, so I just wanted to put that out there. What I mean is that your priority is to protect Gypsy Rose. I think
so. I like how 1980 Millennial covers her stuff, even her like speaking truthfully and directly to Christy and having that ability to be like, I don't agree with this and this and this about you, but still having the ability to be cordial and, a decent human being. I mean, that is a respectable way to be, in my opinion.
I think you have a fire about it and that you might lie, omit, or twist the truth to protect Gypsy. And I don't fault you for that. I would do the same for my family, no matter what. I just would. Fortunately, I don't have anyone in my family in the position of Gypsy, but I have a feeling if I did, I would still want to protect them. Now, the reason I believe some of the stuff that Christy said about Fancy is because it's consistent with Fancy's behavior, and other similar things have been reported about Fancy's behavior from other people at other times. So it
So,
feels to me like
this is 1980 millennial. She was on the live. So let's go in and let's look at it. I have it queued up to right before when Christy comes up on the live.
Have a humiliation fetish, like I was speculating earlier, that would go right in.
Is that a real thing? Is that a real thing?
Yes, it is.
I look like crap, probably, but I don't care.
Hey,
But it's still
honey.
saying I'm backstage, so I don't know. Like, this is so confusing.
You were.
I don't even know this Brandy channel. I've never heard of it before. I know Laura because she's with Into the Weeds, and I know 1980, and I know Christy. I don't know. Is this? Oh, and I think this is Cutting Board Dawn.
We're backstage now. You're on the panel.
No,
you're
up here. Hi. Well, I don't even know how to see all the. Let me go back. Oh, chat. I don't comments. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, people. This is my first rodeo. But hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Ah,
I have
gotcha.
gold leaf all over me, so excuse me if I have some on my face.
All right, let me speed this up.
Wait, how come I can't see the chat?
Go to comment.
Click
Where the hell I see comment? I see Mike can
It'll be
chat.
to the right
more.
side of your screen.
Mm,
I'm trying to think if it shows on the phone.
comments.
On my phone.
Okay.
Yeah, mine's on the phone. Is on the phone. That's under comment.
I'm on my phone, so I can't. I don't know. Like I said, somebody needs to help me with this. I don't see. It says you're on you're in the show. Everyone can see and hear you, but I don't.
Christy always has that sound to me. I thought it was just her southern drawl.
Oh, I could take myself off.
Yeah,
I really don't care.
we're giving
Comments.
Chrissy a.
Join the chat. Okay, found it.
All right.
Hold on.
Let me move it forward.
We gave her.
Right, that she
Ooh, a
wouldn't pick
lawyer.
up. She refused to pick it up, and that came through a lawyer.
Right.
Because they're worthless. They're worthless. Even through a lawyer, they're worthless.
Well, look. As for her saying that I was helping doing that, doing the emails. No, I didn't have time for that then. I don't have time for it now. Like, I was left out in the loop for a lot of that back then. I had talked to, Dawn on the phone a couple of times back in 2019. But as for her with the Nick situation, I had nothing to do with that. I didn't want to get my hands that messed up in that shit. No. It was a shit show.
I had never heard that story until Sarah said it.
Well, girl, that was
I had never heard that.
But you know what? We just found out a while ago that I didn't hear this part last night when Dawn was on with Natasha, that she said that Fancy was faking being Tori, pretending to be
Right,
Tori, talking to her.
I know.
Faking
I
being
listened to the whole
what?
thing after.
She was faking being what? I didn't hear 40.
I got off on Breeze. And I listened to the whole damn thing, and I was like, what?
I had never heard that, so I was like,
I never heard it either.
It was a shock to me. Like and the fact that Tori never even said that Fancy
Consider the source, though.
Right.
Consider the
What
source.
was she faking? Did anyone hear that?
That's all I got to say.
Oh,
I mean,
Tori. Okay.
Well, I mean,
I
I
lose brain cells.
Fancy and Tori weren't into a lot of shit and lying and then lying on each other and lying to everybody else. I mean, there's just a lot there.
But look what Dawn did. We know that Dawn, especially like me being one of the new kids on the block.
Look, it doesn't mean like if I agree with something that somebody that I don't normally agree with, it doesn't mean that on a whole I agree with them. I mean, some of the stuff that they've done is horrible, but I can't imagine like having Gypsy Rose as a stepdaughter and having to deal with the constant drama of it all day in and day out. I can't even imagine it all.
I've only been in it, 14 months now,
You mean
which is
Don
a new
Brown?
kid.
Don Boker.
Yeah. No, Don Brown. There's so many things that we have found out that she did and would blame Christy or say that,
Yeah.
So it kind of seems like it's the same situation on that side of,
Yeah.
was it Tori or was it Fancy? Or was it Fancy pretending to be Tori?
Look,
Because we know Dawn pretended to be Christy.
it all gives me a freaking headache.
Same. I'm so over it.
I still can't wrap my head around a lot of the stuff that I'm getting accused of or things that I'm finding out that Don Brown did. I'm like,
But that's what I was telling you earlier, that when I went to Fancy, when we started figuring, when I was, Kendall and I were figuring out that Dawn was into shit, and then we went to you with it. And then it wasn't, what was it, a week, 2 weeks that Dawn passed away. So it was hard because we had no closure. We had no answers. And we were still learning stuff.
like I told y'all the other night, I'm still having a hard time dealing with the passing of Dawn. I never had talked about it on any social media because I'm still like shocked. I'm angry. I'm hurt. I still cry. I don't know. It's just, I am a human being. I have feelings.
And I think people forget that.
And it hurts that we're still finding out stuff that she was behind, that there's not even ever the chance of asking why.
Like her poor Jeff, like he's wondering who the hell she was, and I don't even want to have a conversation with him.
It's her husband or boyfriend. Fiance.
Her and Toby weren't even divorced yet.
Right. He's learning things that she was in their own. He had no, and it was almost financial ruin for him.
Yeah.
So,
the other day I was looking through my time hub and I took screenshots of some pictures she had sent me, and it was her insulin on her car, on her seat of her truck.
I am not sure what Dawn they're talking about that's passed.
Syringes. It was like 3 bottles of insulin. And Toby had called me and he's like, she's going to kill herself. And I'm like, well, what the hell are you doing calling me? Call the cops. If you don't call the cops, I'm going to call the cops. And so he ended up calling the cops and stuff like that. And it was like crazy because it was not long after she had her surgery, had her open heart surgery, where I was listed as her sister. So when the doctor would go in and talk to Toby, I could, he'd call me. So it's like, if she hated me like she said or whatever, why would she have put me as a sister? Mm-hmm. Especially for something that important.
I don't know that she hated you back then. I think it's right the opposite. I think, and this is me looking in, because of course I wasn't there, but
there was somebody who passed away that Fancy always talked about on her team. I wonder if that's who we're talking about. That Fancy back when she was working on this by proxy, I think. I don't know, maybe not, but I know there was somebody who passed away from Fancy's team.
I think maybe some of the things that she was behind.
Oh,
she probably did it thinking she was doing right.
I get caught too.
I wish she would have just come clean
and
said that.
The later stuff that she gave Nina and that she gave Thea and a few of the others.
No, this live was a day ago. We have been watching various lives. Everything that we watched during this YouTube live, I will put down in the YouTube show notes so that if you want to go and watch the lives in their entirety or visit the content creators channel, if you like their content or whatever, it will give you a direct link to them and you can go ahead and watch it on your own.
I think that happened after Jasmine pulled the stunt that she did
Mm-hmm.
on the PR bullshit.
This is just a recap, and this is for entertainment and educational purposes only.
And because I think
she was hurt,
extremely hurt, and
we all got hurt when
she acted out. That was a nightmare. I don't think you guys know all that story. Were y'all around for?
No, I don't think a lot of them are.
No, I
Yeah,
don't.
there's a lot of new faces since then.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother story.
I think this was back when Fancy, she had that coworker. Let's go forward and see if
that started in 2015, and
before court,
before any of it, right after they were arrested. And
There was, I mean, the OGs in that were Billy.
So there was, they used to meet over on these Facebook groups, and I think that's what they're talking about, an old Facebook group.
Has passed away too. There was Jana, Billy Wiles, Jana Cox. She has passed away. Dawn, she has passed away. It's like, do people want to be my friends? Because everybody's passed away.
Actually, now that I am right. Dawn is somebody that Fancy used to work with, because Fancy talks about this person, and she gets all teared up about it too. Sounds like Dawn was a wonderful person, but also sounds like Dawn didn't maybe like Christy too much.
And me and, Rita Robertson Sanders, she has passed away last year.
Night Dawn.
Like there was a lot of them that were the OGs.
I don't know. There's a lot of Dawns in this story.
She helped me, I guess, like learn the tricks,
Because
or learn what this meant and learn what that meant. And
There's this Dawn that passed away. There's Cutting Board Dawn, and there's Dawn Boker. There's a lot of Sarahs too. There's Pink Hat Sarah, and then there's some other Sarah. So yeah.
Dawn was like, I know a bunch of people. I've been doing this for years, so I was like her little student, I guess. She taught me, how to do things, or what to say, what not to say, because I didn't have a filter then. I really don't have a filter now. But
well, and you were trying to learn.
I have to learn. I mean,
Randy, give a breakdown though, so it makes sense to.
Yeah, make it make sense, because my mind is.
Okay. I was playing with the gold thing that YouTube adds to this. Now I didn't realize it did that. That's kind of cool. Thank you, Rebri, for the super chat. And I have no idea what my special thing is for that. So, Lord, and the people that were around in the beginning with Dawn, I don't know that any of them. I haven't seen any of them anywhere.
Jackie, but her and Jackie quit talking. Jackie Stover, they quit.
I think everybody that was involved with her did quit talking to her because things just went weird.
Well, the Jackie thing, that was a big fracas, which that's in French. It's a big argument, big disagreement between me and Jackie. So that they ended their friendship because Dawn took up for me but her and Jackie had did stuff before in groups and shit, which I didn't know.
But she would come in and she would come over to us and she would give us some story of something going on, and then she would go to other people and give them a different story, and then it would have people kind of fighting, and none of us realized that until years later. And even last year, she kind of came in and she asked Christy to get her hooked up, because we had not talked since 19, and Christy gave her my number. Christy gave me Dawn's number, or whatever. We both got numbers, and
that way, yeah.
And we began talking, and it was about trying to get Fancy to calm the fuck down, and trying to get some peace, because she was calling Christy DD 2.0. She was accusing Christy of being involved with the murder. She was accusing.
Oh, thank you so much, Megan, and you're very welcome.
Christy of
a lot of shit.
Stealing pills, and there was more. It just kept going, and
said there was no prescription pad that I found.
Right, and
so Mike pulled that out his ass too.
And she was saying that she came out and said that Christy is the reason was behind the pages that Natasha's mods made about Fancy. There was
Christy looks like she's tired. She looks like maybe she's had enough. I feel like a lot of when I see Christy and Rod, and they look like they've had enough. They look like they've lived it.
No part of that.
There was another buy proxy that was BYE proxy. There was Free Craig.
But I say they look like they've had enough, but they all keep going. They just keep going.
Sweet Love. There were these pages, and those pages were really kind of going at Fancy.
Yeah, she thought I was part of all of that. She thought I was part of Free Craig. I was like, what are you talking about?
And I know for a fact who all started them because they became friends of mine, and actually
They all admitted it.
and Fancy gifts afterwards. So
Yeah,
the fake buy proxy page
I
was
think
made before
that's
that.
why they stay. Is I think the money is just a little too good for them to leave. But you've got to decide, like, is the money really worth it? Is it really worth it? Because you can make money doing, like, these days you can make money doing things a lot of different ways. And is this really worth it?
Mod ever met Natasha, and then the other pages were the mods just doing it because of the stuff. And now Christy did, when she was hurt, tell Natasha about the whole PD thing, and she owned that. She said,
I will be the first to admit that I did it.
You petty. Can we be petty and ask about it?
Yeah. Ask away.
All right, come on.
Just wondering what happened. Like, what did Fancy do?
Okay. Oh God, Brandy's laughing because she knows where this is going.
Oh boy.
Okay. There was one day I got a call and they're like,
actually, before we get into it, I always forget to do our polls. So before we get into it, let's end our poll and see who you think the Blanchards would want to blow up first. And the poll has ended. 36% Becca, 34% Fancy, 20% Nina, and only 8% Morbid. I almost didn't even put Morbid up there. I almost put Katie Joy instead because I almost feel like they like Morbid because I see Ken and them coming on his show. But anyway.
That's YouTube. Put it on YouTube. So I'll put it on YouTube, and it's Brandy, April, and Katie Joy all talking. Well,
the disaster.
Nancy said I was 9,000 times worse than Dee. Okay. Now, I'm on the phone with Natasha Cooper at this time, and a call comes in, and it said Katie Paulson. And I'm like, Natasha, Katie Paulson's calling. She's like, oh, girl, let's hang up and answer it. So I did. And she asked me she asked me if I knew who she was. I'm like, yeah, I know who you are. I watch, your channel sometimes and this and that. Well, we just got to bullshitting and talking. And during this time, I was pissed. And I came with every receipt I have. Everything that April said, that Michelle Dean fired us. No, not true. I gave KJ the text where I'm letting her go. When was this? 2019?
This would have been, I believe, July or August of 2019.
Somewhere around.
Yeah, we did an interview, and let me get a little bit of backstory on that interview. We did that interview, and it was one of those, we literally told her, look, we're still trying to work through things with the family. We are no longer working with the family, but it's peaceful. So we're asking you to please not go public with anything we're talking about. This is just sharing some info with you. But when we can, you have the first option to go live with it. She agreed. Well, then as soon as she gets off, she calls Christy. And it was like, then it all blew up. And when it blew up, that was when Fancy put that video out because Katie went live and said things. So the video, people said, well, y'all were such mean girls. I'm like, yeah, because it wasn't ever supposed to be published.
Right.
So
and look,
we had to put it out.
Okay, so I do know. I remember Brandy in that video. Okay, got it.
So I never went after Brandy because considered a source where she was getting her shit from. So I never went after Brandy. I targeted April. And I'm the type of person, I'll fly by the freaking seat of my eye. I was pissed, y'all.
And I was rough on Christy back then, y'all. I was rough.
Okay, but it's okay.
But I explained it to Christy, and she's like, I see why you would be that way. It's okay. And so we've passed it.
It's squashed. So in the Mean Girl Facebook group is where it was 5 of us. I won't say their names.
Yeah, because the girl is no longer here. Valkyrie was one of them. Valkyrie was there.
Well,
don't say last names.
Well, she was the one that had said, "Yo, Me and there was another girl.
Let me give a warning real quick. Trigger warning, because this is petty as shit, and it might be
It is.
traumatizing to your ears and your stomach and your eyeballs and anything else that you think of.
And God forgive me for saying what I'm about to say.
It's my fault. I asked for the petty.
And then you can blame 98 later on.
Boca
Hey, let's
calls
let's
her.
not say no one's last name.
Okay, well, she calls her, and April got mad because she was pleasuring herself, what was said, and because she called this STD and all of this shit. And then one of the other girls was like in the chat said, oh my God, I feel so violated. I need to talk to my therapist about this. And I was like, oh my God. So I went in there and I said, I'm pissed. This is what Fancy just said about me. Do y'all mind if I let Natasha know? And I didn't even give them a chance to reply. I just sent it all to freaking Natasha. All the screenshots. Take it and do what you got to do with it. Because Natasha had a big platform. I never did a Facebook Live, never none of that. This is the first time I'm ever on a YouTube Live. So,
it's her first
Natasha
YouTube
let
Live?
the world know that
She went live, y'all, with a maxi pad that was painted green. And
is that when she couldn't get the one of them she did, she couldn't, that fake eyelashes, she couldn't
she
get
had
off.
she'd already done fake eyelashes all over her face to make fun of Fancy's PCOS.
She couldn't take them off.
And
They
then
was-
she did and it was bad. It was probably not her best moment, but
it was not my best moment either.
Well, you just got called. You just called
Look,
DD 2.0 or 9,000 months worth of DD. I'd be pissed too.
I saw red, and I forgot all about it. I forgot all about it.
But I mean, then they went in and they had those I forget, I don't know, Fancy's private parties. They had those too. And didn't they talk about that? I mean, it got really, really petty. Let's go forward.
I'm behind this, or I'm a part of this. I was like, I would understand why she is, but to keep it from me when we're out there defending, to have something come back and find out that you are behind something that we've said, no, she's not.
How about that?
Christy only ever gave me one thing to use, and that was her email to News Nation. That's it. And I put that on my live because Christy wanted her to know, yes, bitch, it was me.
I wanted the recognition.
You admitted
she blamed me so much. That's why she blamed me. I was accused of doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that. Well, no, I was responsible for this.
Oh, I gotta take it back. I don't know what
Have you done? I'm not going to judge you. I understand, why, if it was my kid, I would do anything I possibly could to protect my kid. And if somebody's going to attack my family the way yours is attacked, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to still stand up for my family. But I want to know what you've done, what you were behind, what you were aware of, because, Fancy blames you for everything. And
that one thing.
Christy told me, the whole story and sent me what she did.
That interview that we did with Katie Joy was the catalyst for a lot of shit. There was already quite a bit happening because Gypsy had already fired Fancy. She had already, because of the interviews that Fancy did and In Touch, she said some shit about Ken, and then there was some other shit said in Facebook groups about Ken, and Gypsy was like, I'm done. And then she told Christy, no more. You choose me or you choose Fancy.
And
that was another question I had too, because Fancy always said that Christy stayed, that she stayed friends with Fancy behind Gypsy's back, and I wanted to know the truth with that. And Christy said
told Gypsy recently about this, and
that she stayed peaceful with her, just
I
because
needed
it was
to slowly wean myself out, because could be me, her, and Tori on the phone. Tori has to hang up, and she starts talking about Tori lower than a dog. She did that to everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah. Okay. So it sounds like it was just a bunch of women talking about each other, and he said, she said, fighting, that way out of control. So let's keep going. Where are we at with time? I've been on 2 hours. Wow. Well, we're here. I've got some more. I want to actually wind it up with the actual schmurder herself. I don't want to just do something about all drama and not round it up with what Gypsy Rose is actually doing. I saw that Nita posted that Gypsy did a TikTok that I thought we would look at. So be sure to give this live a thumbs up, guys. We're coming to you today on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Hi, guys.
But then we're like, okay, since we couldn't really spend time together on Valentine's Day itself, we'll make up for it on Sunday night because Sunday was the next day off. So we had just an evening at home planned. And so the plan was to have like a romantic dinner, and then like have Aurora here at the house with us, just have like family time. So I had like a little kit. It's like a massage kit. And so the plan was he was going to give me a nice back massage, like with the little stones and stuff, a nice hot bubble bath, and a steak dinner. So, and we watched a movie. We watched Don't Breathe 2. Came out a couple years ago. So it's a bit of an older movie. So anyway, we got through the movie and dinner was ready at about 7. And as soon as dinner was ready, Aurora woke up and she was crying. So fed her, changed her, burped her, went to put her back down to go back to bed. And she wouldn't stop crying. She would stop crying only when I picked her up. And when I tried to put her back down, she started crying again. So she was very fussy last night. And so she woke up at 7. And
so are you saying that the baby ruined your Valentine's Day? I mean, what is this whole story for? Why are we hearing this?
Even after feeding, changing, and everything like that, she still was fussy. And so
thank you so much, Laura Lynn. Your support means everything to me, and I love you.
He's like, well, maybe she has to burp. And so he's trying to burp her, and I'm like, I'm trying to burp her. And we're both holding her, you know. I'm like, babies cry, and sometimes you don't really know why, but we've tried everything at this point. Burping, feeding her more.
Yeah.
And so
I actually refuse to go to her TikTok or any of her pages. I have her blocked. I only watch her off of other content creators. So
like maybe it's just like gas, like maybe she just needs to fart. And so I tried doing like those like little leg movements with her, and I was like rubbing her tummy in that way that I've seen on TikTok videos and stuff. And she would not stop crying. So it was like I was Googling everything. I'm like, and it said it could be anything from colic, gas, growth spurt. She has gained weight. So she weighs 9 pounds, 4 ounces right now, as of like last night that I weighed her. So needless to say, finally, after all the crying, she finally went to bed. Like I swaddled her and everything, put her back in her crib. And she seemed to be calm. So at about 11:30 at night, she finally went to bed. So this morning, I'm very, very tired.
all that for
That's
that.
why
All that for that. This morning, she's very, very tired because the baby had gas.
I look like this right now. And everybody's like, get a babysitter. And I'm like, I'm not there yet to have a.
What? You just went to the post. You went away with your boyfriend. Okay. All right.
Sitter come yet. I'm one of those people that's very like cautious. No, it's a lot to adjust to. Where it's cut off. Cut off is like if you live in Louisiana, everybody knows where Homa is. So it's south, about 45 minutes from Homa. It's a little town. We have a McDonald's. We have a Walmart. Actually, technically, the Walmart.
She's one of those people that looks different. Like, this is how I think she truly looks right here. I mean, when she's face on, I can see the micro deletion, I can see the genetic, and I can see what she's trying to get rid of. I think I can see Gypsy Rose actually getting addicted to plastic surgery because she doesn't want to look the way she looks.
Walmart is in Galliano, but they're neighboring towns, so. But there's not like a mall or anything in Cutoff. There's basically nothing. Small town USA.
That doesn't want you there.
So have you guys seen the trailer for season 2 of
Oh.
Gypsy Rose Life After Lockup?
Now we know why she's doing the live. She's doing some PR for Life After Lockup.
It looks very good. Like, even Ken and I and like my family watched the show. It's like we know what all we filmed, but still like watching the show and how it gets put together and everything, we can be like, oh, I remember when we did that. It's kind of fun to watch. And then you get to watch the stuff that like you weren't a part of, like being filmed. And I also like want to address something. So in the trailer, I've seen kind of videos about it, but like in the trailer, whenever Ken and I clink our glasses, I was drinking Welch's grape juice, like the kind that's in the bottle, because I was also 7 months pregnant. So I'm not going to drink when I'm pregnant, and I'm also on parole and can't drink. So I'm not going to be doing that. So
don't act like you're on parole, so you're not doing shit. You're just doing it behind the scenes, and we all know it.
Clarify, it was Welch's grape juice, and you guys are going to find that out because they're gonna put that in there. So
I don't really care.
Clarify.
I don't really care about your grape juice.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh, Mac, I see you. Hey, girl, the chat's going by so fast. I think I've like seen your profile picture kind of zoom up. Thank you.
Thank you for the money.
Goodness, I'm trying to read all this, and it's like literally a split second.
I do struggle to understand people who are like spellbound by Gypsy Rose, a schmurderer. Even if her story, her narrative were true, how could you be, I don't know, spellbound? I don't know.
Things have definitely slowed down for me in the being on social media world.
No, you're just doing it behind the scenes.
Someone said my morning routine. My morning routine
You're just doing it.
Usually starts with
You're doing it behind the scenes until June. You're also probably doing it because you're hoping that Life After Lockup will see that you can be a responsible person and want to do a 3rd season with you. We all know why you're doing it.
We're crying. So basically get up, feed her, do all that stuff. And then if I can get her back down and go to bed, I will go take a shower, clean my face, moisturize. If I plan on going somewhere, I'll put on my makeup.
So it's just her doing more wannabe influencer stuff. You guys, just out of curiosity, have you seen this interview that Gypsy Rose did? It says she did it with Times Radio. Gypsy Rose Blanchard. I had my mom, Killed. I hope she'd be proud of me now. The story. Has anyone ever seen this? When doing my research, I popped upon it, and I hadn't heard of her doing this interview. You want me to play the trailer for the series? Well, yeah. How about I will start to play a little bit of this, and I will look for the trailer because I hadn't seen this interview before that she gave, and this was 12 days ago. Granted, I haven't really been following the case too much, but I thought we'd take a listen to it real quick.
The Times and the Sunday Times. This is the story. I'm Manveen Rana.
Right, I'm just going to hit record on everything. And yeah, so you're in Louisiana, is that right?
Yes.
Ah, what time of day is it there?
For my colleague, Katie Gatens, this was no ordinary interview. She'd spent a year trying to persuade a woman who's become a cult American celebrity to talk. Finally, at the end of 2024, here they were, meeting for an online interview.
She came on the Zoom call and she looked very young, almost like a teenager with no makeup and a slouchy green top, and she had her hair pulled back in a ponytail. But she's just 1 year younger than me. She's 33. And she talks in this very distinctive, high, very feminine voice.
Thank you so much, Maxie. Your support means everything to me.
It's almost quite childlike. And she was just in her bedroom.
I'm not a true crime story. I am an individual who had been through trauma.
With Gypsy Rose Blanchard, you either know who she is or you don't. She's quite notorious. She has a lot of social media followers, and people either love her and are very sympathetic to her, or they're kind of critical of her and what she's done. I've never interviewed anybody who's murdered anybody before, and I suggest that almost she's well-adjusted convicted murderer.
I hear that all the time.
And she kind of laughed and said, "Oh, I hear that all the time."
In 2015, Gypsy Rose Blanchard was convicted of murdering her own mother. If that sounds startling, the story of what led to the murder proved to be even more extraordinary. The scandalous details of the case made Gypsy Rose a media sensation who has millions of followers online and has reality TV cameras following her every move. Now, she's telling her own story through a memoir, and she spoke to the Sunday Times in an exclusive interview.
Let's tell you the truth behind this sensation, behind the headlines, behind all of the stuff, and really humanize me, humanize my mother.
In a world obsessed with true crime, what should we make of her celebrity? And why is there so much sympathy for a convicted murderer? The story today: I had my mom killed. I hope she's proud of me now.
I mean, the title alone is like, oh, I love the British. That is so perfect. I had my mom killed. I hope she's proud of me. And yes, she calls her a schmurderer. So, okay, guys, do you want to go over it, or should we call it a night? What are you guys thinking? How are you guys feeling? Did you guys see the overlay that I did? The title is ridiculous. I don't know. I think it's ridiculous. It's so funny though. It's so ridiculous. It's funny to me. She is no celebrity. No, she is not. Yeah, her eyes are black and void of anything good. She needs to be just removed from the internet, but it's obvious that that's not going to happen. So we're doing the best we can by just making sure that people are aware of who Gypsy Rose really is. And I truly hope that if Fancy happens to see this, that she thinks maybe twice and kind of, well, I hope she does retract her copyright strikes. And if Becca SCOOPS sees this, just know that we support you, and this is ridiculous. And to all the other content creators that this is happening to, it's ridiculous. I mean, I truly hope it doesn't happen to us for just covering it, but I can't live my life in fear. So there's that too. So, I mean, if you're out here doing content creation, it is something that you do live with. And you just hope that it doesn't happen to you and you deal with it when it happens. But it's ridiculous that you have to live your life like worrying about, because you're covering, you're creating something, because anybody can come up here on YouTube and create. You can be a content creator if you want to. If you want to put in the work to do it, you can do it. You can. Anybody can do it. It's the beauty of YouTube. Anybody can do it. If you got a camera, you can do it. If you got an iPhone, you can do it. It's not as easy as it looks, though. I will say that. Not rocket science. Also not as easy as it looks. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Laura Lynn, thank you for popping in and moderating for me. I should have my phone situation figured out within the next few days. I'm just hoping that I don't lose connection to my desktop, because if I do, there's that 2-part authentication that you got to go through, and I don't have the phone to do it. So I'm just praying that doesn't happen to me. But yeah. Thank you all for being here. Main Chick Carrie, thank you for being a member for 7 months. I kind of feel like you've been a member longer than that. Maybe something lapsed, but I feel like you've been here longer than that. Megan M, welcome to the Dragonflies. Megan M, thank you so much for the super sticker. Laura Lynn, thank you for gifting the membership. I don't know who got the membership. I can't tell from StreamYard. I have to run over to YouTube. So whoever got the Dragonfly membership, congratulations. And Moxie, thank you so much for your super sticker. I love your angel profile. It's beautiful. Been really into angels lately. I've been seeing repeating numbers. I've been seeing 1111, and I've been seeing 444. I've been seeing the 4s a lot lately. So, and I've been talking to the angels and trying to really raise my energy and my vibration. So I'm hoping that these are all good signs. So I'm a woo-woo girl, you guys. So Parawomenradio, we do our woo-woo. I try to keep it over on Sunday nights, but yes, I'm a woo-woo girl. So I love you guys. If nobody's told you that today, I'm telling you that. And even if somebody has, I'm still going to tell you that. I love you guys so, so much. And I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Carefully strumming this old guitar, words rolling out into the fire. Never asked why my heart burned blue. Here in the haze where you inspire me. Here in the darkness I hear my cue. Time to find some solitude. Here where my soul bleeds openly.